Get you out of my mind. It's like I feel it for the first time. Been thinking about you all night. I've been searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair with those eyes so bright. They look into my soul and it sparks my life. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time. Do you remember? Can I take you there?
As I talk about what's going on today, usually I would be really excited talking to you guys, but today, on this particular video, let me just explain, in this particular video, it's a little different because I don't want it to get emotional or anything like that, but hello LAS family. This is why CHANI and I and my family decided to come back to YouTube, and because of situations like this. Today, you know, as my wife and I preparing, I'm waiting for my wife to come back so that we can go to this concert, and as I turn on the television, breaking news. A Saugus high school shooting in Santa Clarita, California, leaving at least 2 people dead. And then, you know, it hit me like, this is high school. My son Elijah's in high school. KENOA will be going to high school in a few years. And this is serious, guys. This is why I believe that we have our channel so that we can pray for situations like that. Not saying that you can't pray, you can pray. This is why I'm talking to you guys today, because I want to rally around the families of the victims. Now 5 people were shot, 2 are dead. 1 is the actual shooter whom shot himself in the head and is in grave condition right now.
The suspected shooter, who's been identified in the last hour, confirmed by CBS News as Nathaniel Burhouse, 16 years old today. Today was his birthday. He brought a .45 caliber, authorities saying, a .45 caliber semi-automatic pistol to campus and shot 5 of his classmates.
I literally can't help but to think about the day they took prayer out of schools. It was this lady, she was rallying to take prayers out of school, you know. It's still important to pray for our students, pray for our children, pray for our leaders, our country, our world, you know, our neighbors, our friends, our families, even our enemies, to pray. And I can't help but to think about this family and these families that are going through this, and what I might be going through, or what my state of mind would be if something happened to my son, or something happened at my son's school, you know, any of my son's school, or your school, or, you know, somebody in your family. And the shooting occurred on the suspect's birthday. It was his birthday. He needs our prayer, the families need our prayers, and we lift this situation up. Nobody should have to go to school and worry about this.
These 2 students are showing how kindness can go a very long way.
They brought them clothes and shoes and stuff like that, and it went viral and everything like that, and that was a blessing, man. So they get the Good Samaritan Award from Life After Sunday. For a kid to psychologically on his birthday decide to take someone else's life and then shoot himself in the head. Let me bring on Robert Davidson. On a serious note, you know, what do you think when you heard about what happened? I literally had to go and go on this and get on this topic right then and there so that we can begin praying for the families of the victims and things like that. But what did you think going through this or hearing this for the first time? It's
interesting because I just walked in the door, and I'm just going to come off what's on top of my head and how I feel right now.
Make sure you talk to the LES family right there.
Two things. One thing I see right off the back is what type of climate are we fostering here in these schools? In other words, when kids come to school, what type of feeling do they feel? How is the atmosphere? When you step off a plane, and if you go to a place that is really high in humidity, for example, I went to Miami a couple weeks ago, and I was coming from California and getting used to this thin, real dry and lovely air. I stepped off the plane. As soon as I stepped out in Miami, I felt something thick. It was just, I couldn't even feel it or touch it. I just felt the presence, that it was really thick. The atmosphere, the climate was really hard and it was tough, and it's just, I felt instantly differently. And so when kids go to school, the question is, how do they feel when they get there? Are they welcome when they get there? Do they feel like that this is an environment that's going to foster love? And do I feel like this is an environment that's going to instill in me some type of hope? Do I feel like that this environment is going to add to who I am as an individual? Is it going to help me socially? That's one thing I think.
It's a resident here describing the suspect saying he was hurting and he just didn't know how to ask for help. And that's so moving to understand because he really was going through a tough time, you're saying.
I think he was. His father passed a couple years ago, and from what I understand, the suspect had been the one who had found his father's body inside the house. And you know, you're always looking as a community for ways you can reach out to the person next to you. There's just someone you know is going through something, and what's hard is that the answer you sometimes get is, "Oh, I'm fine."
Once kids feel a certain type of positive connection, right, whether with somebody at the school or the school, they tend to, first of all, do better academically, and then they reach their highest potential. So one, that's not happening at schools. And then secondly, the school culture, what you just mentioned a moment ago, what type of culture are we promoting? What type of culture are we simply allowing and not doing anything about? And sometimes it's just bullying culture, right? We somehow become too obsessed with, you know, meeting the grades, too obsessed with the system, too obsessed with, you know, what's the principal going to say? What is the school district? You know, in other words, what do they have on our back pushing us every single day, and benchmarks that we have to meet, that we miss out on the kids, right? We miss out on those souls that's in our presence. And so when we promote a negative culture, when we allow a culture, a negative culture, to sustain and to simply stay there, because the worst thing that can happen to any society is that the good people do nothing. And so what I'm going to challenge you to do is that if you're a good person, if you consider yourself to be a halfway decent person, go to your local school, go to your local school district, begin to ask questions about what can I do to help? How can I participate? How can I partake in what's going on here? How can I make the difference? How can I help get a child, right, invested in school in some type of way and not promote a culture? Because now we see this bullying all across the country, we see it across the world. We can't allow this to happen. So we must do something. We must act. And so it's not enough just to be, you know, to be sorry about it. It's not enough just to cry and feel bad. Exactly. It's time for us to start doing stuff. And if you're a kid out there and you go to school every day, I know how it is. Well, I used to have a bully when I was growing up. And let me tell you something. That bully back then looked like a giant. I had no person to talk to, nobody to tell. I mean, they can come up to you and spit on you and take your lunch, beat you up, and then you'll feel threatened. And so I understand the fear that you may be going through, but you have to reach out in some type of capacity. Reach out to somebody else who can reach out. You may be afraid, but tap the shoulder of somebody else, some adult who can reach out and then act in your behalf.
Or tell your parents, somebody.
Exactly.
So it doesn't happen to you, because the last thing we want is a shooting to happen to you. And I know some of you might think, oh, this is not going to happen at my high school. This is not going to happen at my middle school. But who's to say it is not going to happen? This was so close to home. When I heard about it, I said, and forgive me for saying this, but when it happened, I said, please don't let it be a California school. And I apologize for saying that. I don't want it to be any school, let alone California. I'm just saying, please don't. And we think about that. I only said it because I know we think about that as people, as parents, as children. Please don't let this be so close to home. We don't want it to happen at all. That's one of the reasons why we started back up Life After Sunday, is so that we can pray for our world issues. We can pray for our world leaders. We can pray for the people around us. Not saying that nobody else is praying for them, but we want to use this platform for good and not evil. Yeah, we want to entertain. We want you guys to be excited, but we also have a message as well. And the message here is, how do we keep this from happening at your school?
You know what I think about when you talk about that too? I talk about a place. I see a dark place, right? A dark place where you go to and you walk in and it's just dark. That's an environment. That's a place where no hope exists. And so when you think about school, it's supposed to be a place where kids go to and they be inspired and they become inspired. And they learn about themselves. They learn about the potential that they can reach. And they dream and they dream and they dream. But it's the actual opposite in a lot of these cases. Kids and individuals have lost hope, right? And they've lost vision for the future. And it can't see as far as they can throw a pen or a penny or something like that. And so they begin to, they take up arms and they go and take somebody else's life as well, and seems to not really care, not think about it. And they know they'll get it'll attention. We talk about, sometimes in my field, we talk about behaviors and we talk about functions of behavior.
Absolutely.
To a large enough degree, the function of that behavior can be automatic. It's going to be attention. And so you may have a kid who may feel like he or she hasn't had enough attention. And no matter what they're going through, and sometimes kids can't express themselves like adults can, and so they're looking to find the words. They try to express these feelings, and it gets frustrating.
It's a resident here describing the suspect, saying he was hurting and he just didn't know how to ask for help.
Right, but so we fostered such a place where hope doesn't now exist, and so it's a dark place. And then somehow now kids got to get these outlets. They use these crazy behaviors to gain attention. And instant worldwide attention. So sometimes we have a thing what's called precursors to basically helping out get rid of these behaviors or somehow bring them down before they can occur. And so for example, if this kid who sought this attention, if he'd have got attention in the first place, right? If he'd have been listened to in the first place, perhaps he wouldn't have went out and done what he did. So
right, and they're looking right now.
That's just a hypothesis, a theory that I'm having. As I'm
they're looking for right
this.
now. What are the motives? What is his motives? Now I challenge you guys, all my lifers who are watching today, those who are seeing this for the first time. If this is your first time here, my name is Sal Williams. This is my boy Ace. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and get subscribed to the channel so that you can get more news, more encouragement, more enlightenment, more happiness, more joy, more things happening and things like that. So if this is your first time here, please click the bell button and please leave a comment below, right? But if you are not, is not your first time, welcome back. I wanted to, just share this quick video because this shooting that just happened has blown my mind. My wife and I, we love children. We love children, we love kids, and we want to inspire kids to do the right thing. So I challenge all of you guys, all of our subscribers, all of our lifers to be ambassadors for the Life After Sunday family and make sure that other people are not being bullied, other people, so that this doesn't happen at your school or this doesn't happen to your children or your community as well. So we have to come together and pray one for another. We have to pray. We have to pray. I was so sad because I was around and I remember the day that this lady rallied to take prayer out of schools. We've replaced prayer in schools with guns and kids coming to school with guns. We need to bring prayer back to schools. That's what I would rally for, to bring prayer back to schools. So anyway, I wanted to just share this quick video, but forgive me if I'm all emotional and things like that, but this is a sad situation, man. So we pray for the Saugus high school shooting, the parents, the victims, those are involved. We even pray for the suspect and their family as well. And we just pray that God shows his face even in this situation. No matter what you guys may think or feel, God is still in control. All right? So, again, this shout-out notification goes, I'm going to end the video there, but this shout-out notification goes to the Saugus High School children and staff and the principal and all the teachers and stuff like that. We'll continue to pray for your strength and hope everything works out. And man, just continue to pray for the people that lost their children in this shooting. God bless you guys. It's your boy Sal Williams. This is Life After Sunday. Breaking news, sad news, but we're still in prayer for you guys. God bless you.
Hey guys, it's your boy KENOA. Smash that subscribe button to join the family and become a lifer.
Take you there.